Hey, what up, y'all? Welcome to Fandom Frequency. This is the show where we get into all the pop culture topics throughout the week that we thought y'all should know about. And I'm talking about what's the word, man? This is episode 5, where we break down multiple pop culture topics. It could be movies, TV, anime, music, concerts, anything in between, man. We talk about it here on the channel, and we got some good ones to talk about this week. That is for damn sure. And let's get right into it, man. We got some more Green Lantern potential casting for the character of John Stewart here on the Lantern show that the DCU is planning with James Gunn and Peter Safran and all that stuff. They'll be getting some showrunners and everything like that. They got this one lady from the End of the Fucking World that's going to be doing some of the episodes and whatnot. And they're getting things going for this Lantern series. No updates on any Hal Jordan casting, but we do have an update on the John Stewart side of things. And they're talking about Kelvin Harrison Jr. is now in the mix to be a part of this thing. And he has a couple pretty big credits to his name. A few of them here that I can name off for you guys include he was in a movie called Waves. He was in another movie from A24 that came out a handful of years ago called It Comes at Night. He was in a movie with Dakota Johnson and Tracy Ellis Ross called The High Note that came out a few years ago as well, back in the old COVID days. He's also got some stuff coming up like Mufasa. He has a role in that. And he was also in The Trial of Chicago 7, which is the only movie I've seen him in. But overall, he's an actor that's definitely on the up and coming, and he's in the mix right now to play John Stewart. I think his, I think he has a good build for it, pretty good height and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? He's a good actor for sure. So I don't necessarily have like too much of a dog in this race out of the people they've picked so far. I've seen some of these guys in limited work, so I'm not necessarily as gung-ho for it. The one piece of casting that I had in mind for it was John Boyega. I know it's a little on the nose with him being named John, but I thought he was a great, perfect age range, and he really has that badass essence that I see from John Stewart, especially being a kid that grew up watching Justice League Unlimited. You know, John Stewart's kind of a badass, so I would love to see John Boyega be in the mix for that. But hey, he's not a part of the rumors today. It's just Kelvin Harrison Jr. And like I said, I think he's definitely a good, solid choice for it. I don't necessarily think he's the perfect choice. I don't think he's a bad choice. Just someone that's a good actor that I think could fit into the role and isn't so iconic or well known that he's going to be distracting as the character. We could just buy him as the character of John Stewart in the show, being the young kind of rookie going up with the more grizzled detective, if you will, them being space cops and whatnot. So I'm interested to see where it's going to go. Y'all let me know if you think this actor is a good casting choice for the role of John Stewart, or do you think they're kind of tripping on that? I would love to know your opinion on that. But yeah, we got some more One Piece casting as well, y'all, for the characters of Mr. Zero, aka Crocodile, that plays a big part, obviously, in the Alabasta arc, for those that know the One Piece manga and anime. But he also plays a part in some of these earlier arcs in the Grand Line as they get out of the East Blue Saga. And we got one of the biggest casting announcements that we could possibly have for One Piece Season 2 in the fact that Nico Robin has been cast as well, who is known as Miss All Sunday at first and is part of this whole organization, Baroque Works, if I'm remembering correctly, that all have different code names and are all underneath the underneath the leadership of the guy that you see on your screen to your left, Mr. Crocodile there. And we got some big casting news from that. One actor you guys are probably very familiar with, one you may not be. And that is going to be, let me see if I can find my notes here. Lara Alova is going to be cast as Nico Robin, and then you got Mr. John Manganiello, who's done different things, like he was Deadshot for a little bit in the DC EU over there with the Zack Snyder films, and he was Flash Thompson in Spider-Man, been in True Blood, a lot of different stuff over the years. He's going to be cast, obviously, as Mr. Zero, aka Crocodile, and I think these are awesome castings right here, because for me, I don't know her much from anything, but she definitely has the aesthetic and the kind of vibe that I think Nico Robin kind of matches up with. If it was a real life person, that's kind of somewhat her kind of her build and everything, and like her I don't know, she just has that kind of unique look to her that I think kind of fits Nico Robin really well. And then Joe Manganiello, who I'm much more familiar with his work, he's definitely kind of a nerdy guy, and he's into a lot of this stuff. He's into, you know, Dungeons and Dragons and different things like that, so he might be even already familiar with the One Piece lore. But I think he definitely fits. He's a big, intimidating looking kind of guy, and Mr. Crocodile is definitely a very big guy in stature, and I think he definitely can play into some of that real cool guy kind of factor that Crocodile brings to it. And some of that likability that Joe Manganiello has, I think, is going to translate really well to Crocodile, because, not to spoil anything for people that don't want to know anything in the future that watch the One Piece live action, that don't watch the anime or otherwise, he is a character that does come back into the mix down the line and as one of the 7 warlords of the sea, which are kind of some big mid-tier guys out there in the world of One Piece, it's a big deal. So getting to see someone of Joe Manganiello's kind of notoriety, not too famous, but not necessarily someone that we're not familiar with at the same time, I think is a good blend there for the casting. It's going to be very interesting to see. And they kind of dropped a small visual of what's his name of Tony Choppa, baby, over there for season 2, the little reindeer human hybrid that is Tony Chopper. And yeah, so we got some good casting stuff. They did some behind the scenes sneak peeks with the actor that plays Bugsy the Clown, or Buggy the Clown, my bad. So yeah, so One Piece season 2 is definitely moving and grooving. They're shooting that thing right now. So we should be seeing that sometime next year. I really thoroughly enjoyed the One Piece live action. I think there was a couple elements that they could work on to strengthen for the next season. But overall, I thought they nailed most of the tone, most of the vibe, most of the character and castings I thought were really on point. And they got a lot of that main stuff for the East Blue Saga really integrated well into the show for a season. So if they can continue that for the Grand Line as we lead into Alabasta for season 3, I got, there's not a big villain in that, but maybe Joe Manganiello is going to play a little bit more of a villainous role in this and season 3 and kind of continue it on and get away from a little bit of that Marvel villain problem. So we'll see how they're going to adapt that in the future for the end of season 2 going into season 3 and how season 2 is going to end up in general. But y'all let me know if these casting choices fit the character for you. If you're a big One Piece fan, I definitely like these casting choices quite a bit. But now we're going to get into another rumor that I'm not exactly as excited about, but there's a lot of potentiality right now that Eddie Brock's Venom, played by Tom Hardy, is going to jump over from The Last Stand, won't be able to defeat Null, who's going to be the big villain, the king of the symbiotes, is literally who the character is from the comics. Apparently, he's going to be too much of a threat since he is a cosmic entity, and he's going to need the help of Tom Holland's Spider-Man in Spider-Man 4, do some universe hopping in order to take out Null, who will be the villain of that film as well. So they're potentially stepping away from the more street-level Spider-Man that they seem to be setting up at the end of No Way Home. I'm not a big fan of that idea, but personally, I don't really dig that idea. But at the same time, I do want to see if they can kind of balance it out and keep the stakes somewhat grounded without getting too crazy. But I feel like it's kind of hard to do when you have the king of the symbiotes as a fucking cosmic entity of a void that created his own dimension and all this crazy shit. And apparently his power level is even crazy too. Like, he's even stronger potentially than Thanos. So I'm like, I don't know if that really makes sense, even for a Venom villain for a singular movie with no other symbiotes helping him out. That to me already seems weird. But hey, I haven't seen Venom 3, so I can't say what the hell's going to go down there. But I'm not a big fan of what the Sony Spider-Man universe without Spider-Man has been doing. I haven't seen the Venom movies yet, but I do plan on watching them for the review of Venom: The Last Dance coming up here next month. So I am going to be watching those pretty soon, binging those real quick so I can get to Venom 3 and get a review out for that. So that's going to be on the channel. So I will have caught up on that by the time we see what's going to happen with Null in Venom 3. But overall, I'm not a big fan of those movies. Madam Web is trash. Morbius is not very good at all. And I have not seen Let There Be Carnage, but I heard that movie was definitely a disappointment and not even as good as the first, which isn't even really a high tier comic book movie anyway. So for me, I'm going in with pretty low expectations on that. And that to me kind of ruins a little bit of the hype for me on Spider-Man 4 because I'm not a big fan of the Sony stuff. I like Spider-Verse movies, the animated ones. I don't like the live action stuff like that. So for me, Craven looks cool. Looks like it could be fun, but I think it's going to be still an uneven film. So I'm not excited about this potentiality. To be honest, I would much rather prefer a street level Spider-Man movie where he's taking on Scorpion, like some of the plans were saying, where he's taking on maybe Chameleon or doing something else that's a little more visceral and a little bit more down to earth and just friendly neighborhood Spider-Man true and true in New York. We haven't really gotten that in quite some time. I understand in the first film, Spider-Man Homecoming in 2017, we had to get away from that a little bit, just a bit, and do something different with him being in the MCU. We had did the New York thing to death with the Tobey Maguire trilogy and the Andrew Garfield films just coming out a few years before that. I understand, but we're literally over a decade. We're literally at a decade removed from the movie that made them have to reboot the Spider-Man franchise to begin with. So I think it's time, and by the time we see this, it'll be well over a decade. So I think it's time that we get a street level Spider-Man film again and get back to basics with him and get away from all the multiverse stuff until he gets into Secret Wars and Doomsday and things of that nature. But hey, who knows? Maybe they got a cool script. Maybe they got a cool idea. Maybe it won't be as over the top and crazy as I'm assuming. Maybe this isn't even a true thing at all and it's just a rumor that's complete nonsense and BS. I have no idea. But I have been seeing this rumor persist quite a bit and has been coming from some fairly credible sources. So I do feel like this might be a strong possibility to happen. But let me know what you guys think about this down below. Do you want to see a more street level Spider-Man? Do you want to see a multiverse Spider-Man, or does it not really matter to you and you're kind of burnt out on Spider-Man in general, or you're just up for whatever as long as you get more Tom Holland Spider-Man? Let me know where you fall on that one as well. I'm definitely not as excited about this, but hey, we all can have different perspectives and opinions and just respect that, you know? So I would love to hear you guys' opinions on it, whether you agree or disagree with me for sure. But here's a fun one here that I found out just before I was going to do this thing. Ryan Coogler's next film is apparently going to be a period piece vampire film starring kind of his new muse here in Hollywood, Michael B. Jordan, and also is recently casted the woman there on the right, Haley Steinfeld, over there from Across the Spider-Verse movies, and she did that movie Edge of 17. Handful of years ago, a really great coming of age film, and she was in Bumblebee, Transformers, and all that. So she's got some pretty good movies in her resume, and she's becoming a great young actress in her own right, and has already been doing stuff in the MCU as Kate Bishop over there on Hawkeye. And I really dug her character, and can't wait to see her return someday in the future. But she's hopping over here to work with Ryan Coogler, the genius behind the Black Panther movies and Creed and Fruitvale Station. And he's going to be doing this vampire movie, and getting to see him play in the world of horror and blending some elements of action in there potentially, to me, is super duper exciting. And I can't wait to see what's going to happen with that. But apparently the rumored title of it is Sinners. It's going to be a period piece film set in the I can't remember if it was going to be I think it's going to be the Great Revolutionary times. The Industrial Revolution, I think, is when they're going to be setting this film. And Michael B. Jordan is apparently going to be playing twin brothers that return home and end up finding this evil with the vampires. We have no idea who Haley Steinfeld is playing. We also know that Delroy Lindo is going to be in the film as well, but we have no idea necessarily who people are specifically playing, other than the fact that Michael B. Jordan might be playing twin brothers, that is. So he's going to be playing dual roles, which, when it's done right with the right effects and has a great actor in that, they did that with Tom Hardy in that movie Legend. Not a great movie, but great performance from Tom Hardy on that. So, and the Winklevoss twins back in Social Network days, 2010, 2011, in the David Fincher film. So when it's done right, when the actor's cast and it's really good, it could be very, very compelling watching an actor play off themselves like that. It can be pretty cool. So since CG's came a long way, even since the Winklevoss twins, I think we can really get some cool stuff here. With Michael B. Jordan playing twin versions of himself. He's an excellent actor, in my opinion, one of my favorites right now. So getting to see him play in the world of horror and also get to have this challenge as an actor, I think, is going to be really cool to see him rise up to it. And like I said, getting to see him play off Haley Steinfeld, getting to see him play off acting legend Delroy Lindo. That just sounds like a lot of fun. And I love Ryan Coogler's filmography. I even think Black Panther 2 is a bit underrated, especially during the circumstance of losing their main star, going through all the phase 4 troubles, and overcoming getting arrested in the middle of the production of the film, like, or damn near getting arrested. You know what I'm saying? Like, he overcame a lot to make that movie, and that movie, to me, deserves a little bit more credit than it gets, and has one of the better villains post phase 3 in Namor. Even though there's some controversy going on with the actor, I just dug the performance and the characterization of it. So overall, Ryan Coogler, I don't know why I keep fucking up his name. Ryan Coogler is definitely on a run right now. So I am so hyped to see what this is going to be. I believe this is coming out next year, sometime in 2025. So keep your eyes peeled out for this one, all my horror fans out there. Apparently the rumored title is Sinners, period piece, vampire film. You know what I mean? Michael B. Jordan. What else? What else could you want, man? Let me know if you guys are in for this movie. I sure as hell am. That is for sure. And if you guys heard about this one before either. But we're going to be getting into just a couple quick little teasers and trailers here. They had a little teaser for Wednesday season 2 that they're filming it, and that's going to be coming out sometime next year. They show some behind the scenes footage, some of the scenes and some of the characters, and getting back to Nevermore Academy and all that, you know, with the great Jenna Ortega stepping back into the role. And they also dropped a small teaser for Squid Game season 2 that's going to be dropping later this year in December 26th over there. So we're going to have a very cheery Christmas between that and Nosferatu this year. And then we're getting Wednesday sometime in 2025. But just some short teasers, but enough to kind of whet your appetite a little bit. Squid Game season 2 seems really interesting now that Lee Jung-jae is going to be getting pulled back into the game some way, somehow. And I know he wanted to get revenge on the man above, or whatever the hell they called him. I can't remember. It's been a while since I watched that show. It came out like 3 years ago. But we really love the show here on the channel. That was one of our biggest, one of our biggest reviewed videos early on the channel too, as well. So we had a lot of fun with that. I think I had my boy Skippy and my boy Corey and his wife Justine were on that review. We did it at their place. So make sure you go check that out if you guys get a chance. But season 1 of Squid Game was definitely a dope ass show. One of the better foreign shows I've ever seen. One of the few, but one of the better foreign things I've ever seen in my life. So I thought it was really cool. And they got 2 more seasons coming with season 2 included. So they're going to have a season 3 coming out in 2026, perhaps. And they got another season of the game show coming back as well. I haven't watched that. No interest personally. But I like Squid Game, and I'm super duper intrigued to see where they're going to take this thing in season 2. And the fact that it took him so many years, the creator, to get this made and off the ground just shows how ahead of the curve he really was, because he was trying to get this pitched 5 to 10 years ago. So my man was definitely like on some shit, and he was definitely ahead of the curve on that. So it's going to be cool to see what they do with that. We're definitely going to review that on the channel near the end of the year. So make sure you guys keep your eyes peeled for Squid Game season 2. I think it's going to be pretty fucking awesome. Wednesday season 2 seems like it's going to be a lot of fun as well. I thoroughly enjoyed that season for the most part. I had a couple issues with some of the teeny bopperness of it, but I had a lot of fun with Jenna Ortega in the role, especially. She's one of my new favorite up-and-coming actresses, so always watching her on anything, I'm always down, so it's a blast. And I think she just does so great with the character, like with very minimal blinking, no smiling, all that, the whole dance scene, the 9 yards. So it'll be interesting to see if it can catch that lightning in a bottle a second time around and really be that popular once again, because Gen Z and all that love this show. It's like Stranger Things happening for us millennials, almost 10 years ago when that show came out in 2016. So it's pretty cool getting to see, things kind of blow up like that. And Jenna Ortega just get to this whole other level after doing the Scream films, where I discovered her work, and getting to see how much she's blown up in her young career so far has been really cool. And getting to see Tim Burton making something actually good again, outside of Beetlejuice, which I thoroughly enjoyed as well. So getting to see kind of Tim Burton back in the groove of things and kind of making good stuff again is awesome. And I figured him playing in the world of the Addams Family was a perfect fit, and it was. And I'm really curious to see what they're going to bring to this one, because they said it's going to be darker and more ambitious than the last season, which makes me more intrigued and interested. So I'm really, really intrigued to see where this one is going to go for sure. But you all let me know. Are you more interested in Squid Game season 2 coming out on December 26th, or are you more interested in Wednesday season 2 coming out sometime next year? Y'all let me know. But yeah, man, I mean, that's essentially it for this episode of What's the Word. A little bit of a quicker one because I'm a little bit short on time today. But y'all let me know which one of these topics interested you the most. Are you hyped for One Piece season 2 in the live action? Do you want to see that Green Lantern series ASAP? Or are you interested in the Ryan Coogler vampire film? Y'all let me know which one of these topics stuck out to you the most. And we're going to have another one of these episodes by next weekend. So make sure y'all stay tuned and don't sleep on any of that. And thanks for checking out this latest episode of What's the Word, y'all. Make sure you stay safe out there for the rest of the weekend. And we'll see you again real soon on the channel. Peace.